Hi. Today in our podcast we are in Bonn, Wachtberg. I think this is the right pronunciation.
Yes,
I'm not sure. And I'm sitting together with a 6-time Olympic rider, Taizo Sugitani. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right too.
You're correct. That's
yes?
correct, yes.
Yeah, it's difficult to say it in English and in German. So, yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
And we're happy to be here today and talk about your horses, your life, your experience, feeding strategy, all these things. We have a nice cup of coffee and we have lovely weather today, so it's a beautiful day. When I was here first time, it was, I think last year, I was wondering, how is somebody from Japan coming to Wachtberg? This is strange for me. So tell us a story. I know that you are, as your name says, that you are from Japan. You are a 6-time Olympic member. You have 6 times ridden the Olympics. Your father has ridden them 3 times and your grandfather 1 time.
Yes.
Is there anybody else in the world who has the same family structure like you with this Olympics?
I'm sure it's very rare.
Yeah, it is. But how come that you are coming to Europe, to Germany?
As soon as I finished school in Japan, which was 18, I came straight to Holland.
Okay.
And trained with Henk Noren.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, I moved to from Holland. I moved to Germany.
Yeah.
Germany is very strong in the sports. They have a very good system. Mm-hmm. And for Japanese, it was easier to get a working visa.
Ah, so that's a practical background.
Yeah, so it was very practical for me to come to Germany.
Yeah. Is your mother a rider too?
Yes, she does dressage.
You learned a lot from her, dressage riding, or?
Yes, but you know, when you train with your parents, it's sometimes not easy.
Yeah. We have a guest, we have a special guest who's down under the table. What's her name or his name?
Phoebe.
Phoebe, so she's barking sometimes, so may excuse this. Which rider inspired you most, maybe except your grandfather and your father? But who is inspiring? Henk Noren?
Of course, he is my biggest mentor.
Yeah.
Riding-wise, horse ethic, horse management, horse care.
He's very professional.
Very professional,
yeah.
Correct.
So here in Bonn, Wachtberg, how many horses you have on?
At this moment, we have 15 horses.
Yeah. And I saw 3 or 4 ponies.
3 ponies.
Yeah. Lovely. So and you have Grand Prix horses too? GP horses?
Yes, I have one very good Grand Prix horse. Breeding is important, but for me, if they jump good, I'm happy. Of course, my next goal is Paris.
Yeah. Which is next year?
Which is next year and much closer from Germany.
Yeah. So what kind of shows you are going to with you could make a combination for Grand Prix horses and young horses, so you can ride the young classes?
I try to swap every week to do a big international show and then the young horses. We have Asian game coming up in September. Yeah. And also a qualifier for Paris Olympic game in our group. Yeah. That is in July.
Where is this? Where have you
in Varkensvaart in Holland. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So and who is your biggest competitor then?
Australia.
Okay.
New Zealand.
Yeah. Coming back to the horses. So you have German-bred horses, and with your experience, when we talk about horses, do you see a big difference in the breeding of the last 20, 30 years? When you see the horses you start with, you have in Japan, then you come to Henk Noren, and now your own horses. Are there different types of horses?
Absolutely. In this past 20 years, there's dramatic change in horses. Of course, I came from Japan. We had a lot of thoroughbreds, and of course we did import European horses at that time. Then I came to Europe when I was 18. It was completely different. And then now it's more close to thoroughbreds.
Sensitive.
Very sensitive horses.
Yeah.
We need more speed. Yeah. Because back in, let's say 20 years ago, if we had the same horse now, we will get time faults.
Yeah. How do you prepare your horses for these big classes? How about your stable routine? When do you start riding in the morning normally?
Normally I start riding around 8 o'clock, and the whole morning I will be riding.
Yeah.
My horses, they come out at least 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
I ride first, and then and then they go in the field. Mm-hmm. And in the afternoon, perhaps they go on the treadmill, or I take them for a hack.
Have you done this before with 15 years ago also, this treatment? Did you learn this from Hank or where?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It was all from Hank.
Yeah. And if you say it's a bit hilly here, so you go a lot cantering, so they got a lot of muscles, or is it not a field to go out here?
Because when I used to live in Holland, of course, Holland is a flat country. We used to drive the horses to Belgium to do the hill training. Yeah. But now where I live, it's perfect. A lot of hill work, and I go a lot in the cross-country field.
And you put your horses in the field too? All of them?
All of them. Yeah.
That's not typical for a show jumper. A lot of riders don't.
Yes, we are afraid of injuries and so, but we try to find the best solution to how to put them in the field. Some horses, they don't like each other, so we have to find the matching horse, and the timing also. Mm-hmm. In the morning, after work, or in the afternoon, it's try and error.
How about feeding? When do you start feeding in the morning?
We feed them at 6:30, at 12 o'clock. At 3 we give a bit hay. Yeah. And then at 5:30 dinner.
Okay. Now we have some visitor. Who is this horse?
This is Deep Water.
Yeah.
It's by Dinken.
Ah, interesting. Dinken is an Holsteiner.
Holsteiner, yes.
Bred by Theo Molinas. You know Theo?
Yes, of course. I have 2 Dinkens.
Yeah?
This one is 9. The other one is 8 years old. Dinken. Yeah, 2 Dinkens. Yeah. Different mother. Yeah. And completely different characters.
Yeah, but lovely horses. So you look at each horse and you have your own feeding plan for each horse.
Correct.
So do you have some special treatments for your Grand Prix horse? You know, okay, in 2 weeks it's we want to jump the big classes. Do you change something just before, or is it on a long-term view?
I like to do in long-term view. Yeah. And of course, these horses, they need to have off season as well. So same with us. We put on weight sometimes, and you work, and you lose weight. Then you have to find the fine balance.
Yeah.
Of a fitness as well, and
balance is a good word for us, because as everybody knows who listen to us or viewing to us, is Equine 74 gastric, and our main point is to keep horses' stomach in a balance. So when did you first get knowledge about Equine 74 gastric, as well as the stomach can relax the pace?
Okay, I've heard of Equine 74 a couple of years ago, and I did hear a good feedback from everybody. And last year, one of my horse had really bad ulcer, and bleeding ulcer. And
so grade 4. And when the scope the horse, the vet says grade 4, 3 to 4. Yeah.
Because we could not figure out what was wrong with the horse. At one show, he started to jump really to the left, he would not bend to the right, and sweating in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And also, in the horse track, he was stressed. Mm-hmm. And of course, I said, we need to find out more in detail, so we asked the vet to scope it. Yeah. That's when we find out that he had really bad ulcer. Yeah. And of course, Equine 74 made a dramatic change.
Coming back to the horse, when you say it's going to the left or going to the right, so it's something was, did you see some symptoms? like flaming or difficult in girting, or was it on his character changes and his behavior changes? What was the first thing you thought, wow, something is wrong, I can't?
The very first thing I felt was his behavior.
Yeah.
He was really against my right leg.
Yeah.
He didn't want to bend. Of course, sometimes some horses don't want to land on the left or the right, but it was really difficult on landing to the right. And he always drifted out to the left.
And you now feed the Equine 74 gastric to some of the horses, the daily supplement.
Yes.
And you also used our paste.
Correct.
Sometimes, yeah. We developed this especially for young horses when you go to a training or to a show or something changes, because stress is for horses. Some horses cannot work good with stress. They have a problem. So when do you use the paste?
I use the paste during the transport.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Especially the young horses or horses that stress in the transport. Long distance.
Yeah.
I give them before I load the horse, and then when we get to the place, I give the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
And for also competition.
Yeah. But it's not a tranquilizer, because a lot of people say to me they won't use it because the horses are calm enough. They don't want to calm them down. It's not a tranquilizer. It's just because the stomach calms down, so they don't get nervous anymore. This is the point. Okay, thank you very much so far. And now we have some either/or questions, and I love this part. And normally I have the question, Maya, our videographer, she knows it, and she always thinks it's funny. I always ask, do you want to go to the Olympics or Aachen? But now we have a 6-time guy who went 6 times to the Olympics, so we can't ask him about the Olympics. But I do have some other either/or questions, okay? Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Cinema or clip my horse?
Clip my horse.
Everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying. King Edward or Casal?
King Edward.
Beer or wine? A beer or a wine?
I don't drink alcohol.
Okay. So, but I have to ask this question with Aachen. So, World Equestrian Games or Aachen?
Aachen.
Aachen. Running a half marathon or getting dressage lessons from Isabel Wert?
From Isabel.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Taizo. It was
pleasure.
One more question, one last question. If you would describe or recommend Equine 74 products to somebody, what would you say to recommend the product?
It's pure natural. It's nothing to do with doping. And I find it's very horse friendly and it's very productive.
Thank you again. It was a pleasure to see you and meet you here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.